Hey there, everybody. It's Trey here, back with another video. And today I want to talk to you about a very important topic in my eyes. It's 4 main reasons why you should have a financial advisor in 2022. And here's my belief. I think you should have a financial advisor at every stage in your life. But what I've noticed now more so than ever, I'm noticing that with all the market insecurity, with all the fears, with all the concerns of the last 2.5 years, because let's be honest, these have been unprecedented times in certain ways, I have now noticed that now more so than ever, Canadians are wanting to take a hands-on approach with their finances in ways that, frankly, I have never seen in my whole career, which makes me very excited. But at the same time, it's important that the correct level of education and advice is being given out. So before I get into this, I just want to make my background clear, because based on how you view this, you might either see this as a bias or you might see it as experience. But a bit about me, I've been a licensed advisor for over 6 years here in Canada. I'm licensed in multiple provinces, about to start expanding into the United States. In my career, I've taken on over hundreds of clients personally. My branch has taken on over thousands. And with that in mind, I believe that I have a little bit of guidance and a little bit of advice, a little bit of credibility and authority on the subject. Now, what I will say is I'm not giving you financial advice in this video. I'm just giving you some topics and some things to consider that might help you and benefit you in your life. So with that said, let's begin. Reason number 1 why I think you should have a financial advisor now more so than ever. The first reason is they educate and find the blind spots. Here's what I mean by that. There's a stat that was released not too long ago, and it says the Canadians that have an advisor typically tend to have almost 4 times as much wealth than those who don't. Now, it's a stat for Canadians, but I'd be willing to wager that that stat remains true in almost all of North America, and frankly, probably in every country where financial advisors are practicing and doing business. Almost 4 times more wealth than those who don't. Now, why is that? Well, I think the main number 1 reason is they're able to find blind spots that you don't even know you have. They're able to give you a blueprint that you might not have necessarily realized was there. In my career of working with people of all demographics, people that are lower income, middle income, and wealthy, I've noticed one interesting comparison and one interesting trait across the board with the wealthy. And the wealthy understand that having a second set of eyes on their finances is crucial. A second set of eyes that can review what you have, tell you what you're doing great at, and maybe some areas where you might be struggling or need a little bit of help or advice. That is also prudent. And so having an advisor that can sit you down and go, Trey, here's what you're doing great at. Here's a couple areas that need a patch up. Here's a few things that we can work on to improve your financial health. Those things and those conversations are so important. And unfortunately, they don't happen enough. And the reason why it's key is because there has to be a blueprint. I'm assuming many of you listening, just like everybody, have goals and dreams and aspirations that you want. You have savings goals, life goals, retirement goals, and you can't get there, maybe with exception, but you can't typically tend to get there unless there's a blueprint. Imagine if you tried to build a home, if you will, and you don't have a blueprint, you don't have a plan of attack, you don't have a plan for how you're going to build the home. Well, you might be able to lay the foundation, you could slap together a bunch of resources, and heck, you might even build the home completely. But if there's no blueprint and there's no plan on how it should have been laid out, to be honest with you, I'd put money on the fact that that house probably won't be there within 5 years. So it's the same thing with our finances. Do you know how much money you need to have saved to retire? Do you know what your debt situation looks like? Do you know what kind of insurance you should have? Do you know how your investments are performing? Do you know what you're taxed on and what you aren't taxed on? These conversations are crucial. We must have a blueprint, especially when it comes to our own savings and finances. Number 2, the second big reason why we should have a financial advisor is they provide logic when emotions are high. They provide logic when emotions are high. Here's why that's key. I'll give you a personal example. Like I said, I've been in the industry for 6 years. I am what some people would call financially savvy, whatever that means. But the interesting thing about that is I don't even manage my own personal financial picture. I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have a few accounts, a few investments that I manage on my own, right? My liquid savings, my liquid wealth, my liquid investments, things that I need to have access to very quickly. But the vast majority of my finances, I leave to other advisors that I trust to manage for me. Now, why do I do that? Because human beings are not logical creatures. We might like to think we are. We might like to think that we make decisions based on logic and facts, but the truth is, we don't. We make decisions based on emotion. And unfortunately, when emotions are high, intellect and decision making goes down. It drops to the bedrock, right? And so I know that I am susceptible to that just like anybody else. I know that when, pardon the term, but when shit hits the fan, that I need someone who's able to speak to me with a level head, with a clear focus, and able to guide me through those decisions and say, Trey, I know that you understand that you think maybe because markets are down, you should pull some cash out or move things around. Maybe that's not the best path. Trey, I understand that maybe you want to do this with your tax shelters. Maybe we don't do that. Trey, I understand that because you're stressed out, you might want to move your investments around or cancel some things. Maybe we don't do that. I am a person like anybody else. I have the same flaws as anybody else. And I know that I make decisions based on emotion. And when emotions are high, intellect goes down. And so for me, if I believe that I'm susceptible to that, I believe that the vast majority of people are susceptible to that. And so we need someone there that can be that guiding light, that expert, that professional, that person who can speak to us, who's removed from the situation. They have no emotional tie to the situation and can tell us the best course to move forward to help impact our financial future. Reason number three, and this is a favorite one of mine, because reason number three is it's our job to stay informed. It's your job to live your life. Here's the truth. Vast majority of people, and I'm sure yourself included, myself included, we have lives. We have things we want to do. We have travel that we want to take. We have life goals that we want to take. The vast majority of Canadians, now more so than ever, are just fixated on trying to make it through the month. We just want to get through the month. We want to make sure our bills are paid. We keep a roof over our head. We're able to put food on the table. We can take care of our wife and kids, or our husband and kids, or our partner, or whatever. We want to make sure that we're able to travel when we want. We might want to be able to buy that dream home in the future. We might have some side businesses or some charitable endeavors or things or goals that we want to push for. And quite frankly, you're busy enough. You're busy enough. Imagine, if you will, the stress of balancing all the things in your life that you're already balancing to begin with, and the time that you put into it, and the exhaustion that you might feel at times. And then having to navigate investment markets, then having to navigate ups and downs, then having to navigate all the things that come with being invested. Truth be told, I hear this all the time. People tell me, they're like, oh, it's all good. I'm self-invested. I handle my own investments. I'm like, that's awesome. Here's a downside with that. By the time you read about things in the news and you're trying to actively manage your portfolio, that change has already happened in the market. By the time it's been reported, it's already happened. The gain has either happened or the loss has already happened. So in my mind, the way I view it is I'm just going to leave that to the professionals. Instead of being one guy watching the blinking lights going up and down while trying to navigate the stress of running a business and a financial firm, and also having to have a healthy relationship and have a healthy family life, and being able to take care of my health and do the hobbies and the things that I want to do, and my activities and my extracurriculars that I enjoy. On top of all that, to have to be the guy watching the blinking lights go up and down? No. I will not do that. I'll leave that to the highly paid, highly trained professionals that know what they're doing, have navigated markets like this for the last 100, 150 years. They're experts in their field. Because for me, when markets tank, it might be the end of the world, because it's the first time it's ever happened to me. But for them, it's a Wednesday. I want the experience to handle my stuff while I'm living my life and progressing my career and progressing my goals and all the things I want to excel in. And the final point, they have access to tools and solutions that you don't. It's just the truth. They have access to tools and solutions that you don't. You know, the fact of the matter is, in the last 6 years of doing this, with the thousands of people we've taken on, and hundreds personally, I've only met 2 people in my whole career that financially were okay. They didn't need me. Like, they were financially okay. Everything they had was perfect. Their investments were set up great. Their insurance programs were set up great. They had a will, a living estate. Everything was taken care of. And they had zero cause for concern. They could have changed nothing, and they'd retire comfortably. Their financial goals would be met. But that was 2 people out of hundreds in 6 years. And the truth is, the vast majority of people that I sit down with don't even know basic investment principles. They don't know basic savings principles. They don't know basic insurance principles. They don't know basic debt principles. Most people, they're quite frankly, their main education, their scope of knowledge when it comes to money is they know that they probably shouldn't have too high of a credit card debt. They know they probably should be putting money into an RRSP because it's the only thing they've heard of. They think they can only get a tax-free savings account through the bank. And that's kind of what they've resigned themselves to. And then they sit down with an advisor. And the fact of the matter is, most advisors have access to tools, products, and solutions. And quite frankly, the most important thing of all, they have access to education they can share that you can't get anywhere else. I'm not talking about investment for dummies. I'm not talking about going on YouTube and listening to a bunch of quote unquote professionals that have never held a license and never worked with a freaking client. I'm talking about people that have access to a toolbox and access to experience and access to education that can guide you and direct you. And to me, that's what a real advisor is. A real advisor is not someone trying to push product. To me, a real advisor is someone that's with you hand in hand for your life. They walk with you, they educate you, they teach you, and then they provide you products and solutions. Most people do not know about things like tax shelters. They don't know about debt solutions or investment principles. And frankly, for a lot of people, when they sit down with an advisor, many advisors have access to high-level investments that are typically reserved for the wealthy that they can give their clients access to that would drastically change their financial picture if they knew of them. There's a whole wide scope out there that most people know nothing about. And they take all their information from Google. They take all their information from the internet. And then they're left 5, 6, 7 steps behind the guys who actually had somebody teaching them and walking with them. Now, don't get me wrong. Not all advisors are created equal. Are there bad advisors out there? For sure. And that's poisoning the well. The financial sector as an industry, unfortunately, has serviced many people and served many people, but it's also screwed a lot of people. So you have to be careful what you pick. You have to be careful who you trust. You have to have some due diligence. But what I do believe is that you should have an advisor, someone that cares about you, someone you trust, someone that knows you, and someone that's willing to walk with you hand in hand in life. They're not there to just make a sale. They're not there to just get a commission. They're there to actually keep you on track for your financial goals. And now more so than ever, with the changes in the world, with market uncertainty, with quite frankly, no shortage of bad financial advice out there, now more so than ever, that is key. Now more so than ever, we need good information. We need good advice. We need good direction. And that's why I believe that you should have a financial advisor now more so than ever. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.